Hey everybody, welcome to the Calitraveler podcast show. I'm your host, Paul. Once again, welcome to the Calitraveler podcast show. I'm your host, Paul. Welcome to season 2, season finale of the Calitraveler podcast show. Can you believe we have finally reached the end of what seems like a never-ending season? You're probably thinking to yourself, thank God this shit's over with already. According to Anchor.fm, the Calitraveler podcast show is listened to in over 15 countries. Yes, you heard that correctly. 15 countries all over the world. I want to give a thank you to each and every one of you. Your continued support of the show has helped it grow and will further growth in the future. Without your listening, your suggestions, your comments, and your support, I don't think we would be where we are today. I'm not giving all credit of the show to myself. I'm giving it to you, the listeners. All of this is possible thanks to you. Calitraveler 93, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Anchor.fm. Search the Calitraveler podcast show and don't forget to subscribe for weekly updates on new episodes and exclusive videos on YouTube. Now let's get to the show. It's been a while since I've been behind the mic and I have a lot of catching up to do with you all. First, I have been super busy with school. Being a digital media communication student sometimes kicks my ass. You might think, oh, it's just point and shoot or record this new sound, blah, blah, blah. It's not as easy as you think. In my major, we have midterms, final projects instead of midterm and final exams. This week and next week are midterm exams at my university. Luckily, I only have one midterm exam and it is in fundamental statistics. Wish me luck because I am bad at math. However, I think I will be just fine as long as I continue to study. You might think that midterms aren't so bad for me, but I have 4 different midterm projects. For my documentary class, I am currently in the process of working on a documentary about San Francisco, California. You're probably thinking, why a documentary on San Francisco? The idea for this documentary came while I was homesick and talking about home with one of my friends in the States. It will talk about simple history of San Francisco, famous places in San Francisco such as the Golden Gate Bridge, the crooked part of Lombard Street, Fisherman's Wharf, so on and so forth. At the end of the documentary, I provide recommendations of places to visit as a San Franciscan. You think I'm just going to tell you about the tourist places? No, I'm going to tell you about the places that the locals go to. When this documentary is finished, and it should be finished in about 3 weeks, it will be uploaded to Calitraveler 93 YouTube channel. Second project I'm currently working on is for my directing class. We are writing a screenplay of a story we came up with, and it must be written like a movie script. Kind of like when you see scripts whenever you're going to a local theater or you're auditioning for a role in a movie. Yes, those are the kind of scripts that we are working on. In order to write in this script format, we're using a software called Final Draft 12. It is essentially the film world's version of Microsoft Word. You're probably wondering, what is his story about? My story is about a tourist who gets into trouble on his first visit abroad. What country does he visit abroad? Who knows? You might be lucky and be able to find out in a future show. Writing a screenplay may seem easy because you just type something and that's it. It's not as easy as you think. Trust me. First, you have to find inspiration, creative thoughts, come up with a story, and that alone is complicated. To find inspiration, you take inspiration from events from your personal life, music, movies, TV shows. Something you might see off the streets can be an inspiration for a story. I do have to warn you, you need to keep those ideas flowing or else you could end up with this little thing called writer's block. What is writer's block, you ask? Writer's block is when you feel there are no more ideas for a story. Essentially, it's like being frozen in a block of ice. You can't move. Those ideas are just stuck. It's like being in a dead end in a corn maze. How do you get out of writer's block, you're wondering? First, you find inspiration. Second, you listen to music. And third, watch TV or a movie. Fourth, listen to a lecture. And finally, read books. And eventually ideas will begin to flow in your brain, and you'll get out of writer's block as soon as you know it. You'll have one of the most amazing screenplays you could ever come up with. Never give up. Those who try will eventually succeed. It's better to quit trying than to quit and never try. My third project that I'm currently working on is a presentation for a digital innovation and technology class. Our presentation deals with technologies that are interactive. Some examples of interactive technology are virtual reality, smart gadgets in the home such as smart light bulbs, smart thermostats, and touchscreen technologies such as cell phones. My presentation is about the Google Home system and its interactive technology. Luckily, I'm almost completed with working on my presentation and will present it in 2 weeks. And I'll give you an example of interactive technology. Okay, Google, give me the weather for Bangkok.
Right now in Bangkok, it's 32 degrees and mostly sunny. Today, it'll be partly cloudy with a forecasted high of 32 and a low of 27. Due to the current humidity, it feels like it's 37.
My final project that I am working on for my midterms is a computer graphic design for digital media design class, and we're working on a typography design. Truthfully, graphic design was one of my weaknesses in digital media communication major. I'm not much of an artist in terms of graphic design or drawing, but with practice comes perfection. I remember when I first started in my major, and I was horrible at graphic design. Furthering my works, I've been able to turn that weakness into something that could eventually be one of my strengths. You might be weak or claim to be weak at a certain skill, but with practice comes perfection. Life is always a learning process, whether you are in an educational institute or in the real world. For those of you who are currently studying, never give up at any cost. Always believe in yourself and know that even though you have good days, bad days, you feel like you're on top of the world one day and the next you want to rip out your hair, just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel when you walk across the stage and receive your degree. When you look back later on in life, you will realize that all you went through was worth it. Never give up on yourselves. I'm here for you all, and know I will always wish for your success and good health always. And speaking of good health, whenever you're going out, no matter where you're at in the world, make sure you wear a mask and make sure that you keep practicing social distancing. And only through these measures will we be able to get through the COVID-19 pandemic together. Remember to push yourself and strive for the best. I will end season 2 with once again thanking all of you, my listeners, for getting the show to where it is now. All credit should be given to you, the listener. See you in season 3. Podcast can be heard weekly on my YouTube channel, so subscribe to Calitraveler 93, as well as liking my Facebook page, Calitraveler 93, and the podcast will be available on Spotify and other platforms.